The Power Play Post Show is on the air, covering minor league hockey since 2003, and now covering the Binghamton Black Bears with news, reactions, and in-depth interviews only heard here. And now, from the Box Studios in Kirkwood, New York, here are your hosts of the Power Play Post Show, Bob Howard and Taylor Welch.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Power Play Post Show. This is the show for February 26, 2026. This is season 15, episode number 48, and this is episode 562 in the long-running podcast that is the Power Play Post Show. Hello, everyone. I am Bob Howard. She is
Taylor Welch.
Taylor, I got some news. Now, last week we talked, and I said that I was not going to be at the game on Saturday. Plans have changed. I will be there. Now, I might not be there at the normal early time that I normally am, but I am going to be at the game. So I am bringing my gift for you to that game.
Well, I mean, I'll have my gift for you. Mine's pretty easy to carry in, so I'm not too worried about it. But I know the people who have won posters, especially the one, is going to be very excited about you being at the game because they want a picture with you. And that also means you get to take pictures of the cool jerseys that they're going to be wearing at the game on Saturday. Yes,
I saw the pictures for the Asha, and I do like them. I think, first of all, it's a great charity, doing great things to get players, to get specialty players to be able to play hockey. I think it's great. So I'm very excited about those jerseys. I think they look great. I love the fact that they're just black and white. I think they're going to look really cool on the ice.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. It's one of the specialty jerseys this year that him and I are both kind of like, we're picking and choosing. We might, kind of go back and forth and maybe bid on a jersey. Who knows?
Oh, you guys haven't done one this year, right?
What?
You guys haven't not done one this year.
No, I don't remember the last time we got one, to be honest. I don't remember if it was last season's not military, the police and fireman jersey. I can't remember what it's called now.
Right. First responders.
I don't know if that's the last one we did.
Wow. Okay.
It's been a while. It's been a minute.
Yeah, we actually have a few posters to give away, right? Because there's going to be one this week, and then there was two last week, if I remember correctly. So we're going to have 3 posters to give away this weekend. Hopefully, we can get all 3 of them to people on Saturday. We'll have to see, but yeah, I mean, because the Black Bears play in Danbury on Friday, going for their 10th win in a row against the Danbury Hat Tricks. And then on Saturday, they host the Danbury Hat Tricks on that specialty jersey night, which will have an auction right afterwards.
Yeah, the first poster is going to be another Shankar one. He's a very hot commodity.
Yes.
And I thought the second one was also going to be Shankar, but she decided to go with Sargis. So we got another new player to add to our list.
Garrett Sargis is getting a poster. All right, that's awesome. And then we don't obviously know who is going to win this week, but we will be obviously holding the contest again. So let's get right into it because we got some actually interesting stuff to talk about. All right, before we dive into tonight's show, let's remind you that the 11x14 poster giveaway is back again this week. We're about a month into this thing now, and the response has been awesome. And yes, we're doing it again. At some point during tonight's show, we're going to drop a secret code phrase. When you hear it, that's your cue. Send it directly to Taylor in a message. Taylor will be watching the inbox, and if you're the winning message number tonight, you will score an 11x14 Binghamton Black Bears player poster of your choice. Remember, ready for pickup at an upcoming home game. So stay locked in, don't zone out, and be ready because the code phrase could come at any time.
And before we go any further, Black Bear fans, do us a quick favor. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode of the show. And if you're listening on Spotify, make sure you're following the podcast and leave us a rating. It's completely free to do. It takes 2 seconds, and it tells YouTube and Spotify to push the show to more Binghamton Black Bear fans and more hockey fans just like you. And You can also drop a comment too. We read them and we love hearing from you guys. And just a little bit further into the show, we're going to have a great opportunity for you guys to kind of comment and give some feedback to us.
Absolutely. All right. The Power Play Post is available on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, YouTube, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Just search Power Play Post on your favorite app, and don't forget to subscribe. Join the conversation on Facebook. Search for Power Play Post Show and become part of our community. Looking for everything Binghamton Hockey? Visit binghamtonhockey.net. Coming up on this episode of the Power Play Post Show, Binghamton Black Bears defenseman Dan Wieber. And I got to be honest with you, it was a lot of fun to talk to him a little bit about being a forward, playing center. And I have to issue an apology, a public apology, which is going to go to Taylor. Taylor. Now, I don't know if you remember on Sunday's show, you said that Dan had played last season as a forward, actually was in the lineup as a forward. You were correct.
Wow. See, look at that.
Yeah.
According to Steve McAnanama, I'm never wrong. And look at that.
Wow. So, yes, Dan did confirm that he had played as a forward or was in the lineup as a forward. I thought he moved up to play forward when someone got injured, but I was wrong. You were right. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
I mean, technically, I do appreciate the apology, but technically, it should definitely go to Jeremy because he's the one that brought it up, and he was like, that was a hill he was willing to die on. He kept talking to me about it. I tried looking it up. I tried to figure it out myself, and I couldn't. So I looked at game stats. I looked at game sheets. I could not figure out what game it could have been. And he was like up and down. He's like, it was in Michigan. It was an away game. It was whatever this. And I was like, I don't know how he remembers all that stuff because I can't remember yesterday. But it was pretty funny. That was very much a hill he was willing to die on. But it's funny that that was brought up. And at least we now know. And he's been a forward twice now.
Yes, he has. And he played 2 years in college as a forward. So that's the other interesting tidbit about that. So he was comfortable doing that, even though obviously for the last couple of years, he's primarily been obviously a defenseman. So Taylor, let's talk about the roster because I really do think that there are some things that we need to talk about when it comes to the roster.
So our roster report is who is active right now on the offensive side. We have Ivan Bondarenko, CJ Stubbs, and Mac Jansen. It's your first line. Second line, we've got Garrett Sargis, Tyson Kirkby, and Jacob Shankar. And our third line, we have Emerson Emery, Kyle Steffen, and Nick Swain. On the defense side, we've got Chicho Laughlin, Austin DeRazio, Jesse Anderson, Scott Ramekers, Dan Wieber, and Cam Cervoni. And then, of course, our newcomer, Sam Holy. And then our goalies, we've got Dominic Tomei, Wyatt Friedlander, and CJ Hepworth.
Okay, so now we didn't mention a couple people, and we'll tell you why right now. Suspended still for this upcoming weekend is Gavin Yates. He's got 2 more games where returns after the Danbury series. So after the home series against Danbury, Gavin will be able to return. Now, he's got up until March 9th, and then the calendar year clicks over from his first taunt and slurs or, whatever penalty that he got. And I am wondering if maybe Gavin just doesn't play until after that. Just because that would be this weekend and then the weekend of the 6th and the 7th. So it would be these 2 games and then 2 games afterwards. There's always a possibility that could happen. Otherwise, you got to just, hope that nobody gets under Gavin's skin and he doesn't do anything because we know Gavin. Right? Gavin's like one of the quietest guys off the ice, but on the ice, he's a freaking animal. He just is. He's just an absolute animal. And it's just, there's a switch that can be flipped and it's crazy, but we hope that doesn't happen. And maybe he still plays anyways. And he's just got to be on his best behavior. Now, right now, Dan Stone is remaining, at least for this weekend, in the SPHL with Roanoke. Zac Sirota, that's where I have to change the outline a little bit for what we're going to talk about because Zac Sirota has been placed on waivers by Peoria. Now, I've been told, not by the Black Bears, not by Zac Sirota, but by somebody else, that Zac plans on coming back to Binghamton, that even if somebody else picks him up on waivers, that he's going to come back to Binghamton. Now, that kind of makes us think a few things about the roster and where do you fit him in? We'll talk about that in just a few seconds. So the last one is Connor McInerney is in the ECHL right now with the Tahoe Knight Monsters. They are the ECHL affiliate of the Henderson Silver Knights in the AHL and of the Vegas Knights of the NHL. Now, he hasn't played any games yet in the ECHL, and right now that ECHL team does have 3 goaltenders, so they have to kind of make a decision and figure it out. But hopefully, maybe this weekend, Connor gets a game, which would be great. Now, the other thing here is that we know that Mac Jansen and Ivan Bondarenko, may have gotten banged up a little bit over the last 2 weeks, the last 4 games. There's a possibility of that where maybe those 2 guys, maybe sit for a weekend or maybe go on an IR for 2 weeks. Don't know. But I think the Zac Sirota thing kind of surprised us a little bit today. I didn't expect that. And boom, there it was. And then I get a message saying, hey, he's looking to come down, because that lineup that you read, Taylor, to me, if Zac Sirota wasn't coming back, that's how I would line it up. That's how I would put them together and play this weekend against Danbury. I would do nine guys on the forward side, the offensive side, and I would do the extra player being Sam Holy as the 7th defenseman. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely don't disagree with that. I mean, just watching this past weekend, I feel the same way. I really liked how things looked in Watertown, even though I know Jansen didn't finish the Friday game and he didn't play Saturday. So, in that sense, if Zac does come back and, Jansen isn't completely 100% and he wants to take the weekend off, I would do something like that. Because, at this point in the season, you're kind of getting closer to that crunch time. So if you have the ability to kind of sit somebody for a weekend, I would, let them heal, let them take that time off, let them come back 100%. And then you don't have to hopefully worry about that, when it comes to the real crunch time and it's, playoffs.
Right. Because you don't want that injury to progress.
Right.
My thought process is, he comes in, maybe he shows up to practice for Thursday as we're recording this here on Wednesday, comes back and practices with the team. I don't know. A lot of times on Wednesdays, you're figuring out your lines for the weekend. And, maybe Mac went to him or Bondo went to him and said, hey, I could use the weekend off or whatever. I don't really think those guys would do that. I think it would be more of a decision that would have to come from Coach Q or from Brandt themselves to go, well, maybe we're going to sit these guys and let Zac play instead. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And I'm going to say it this way. I wouldn't be surprised if Zac doesn't play this weekend. Comes in, practices on Thursday, or maybe even practices on Friday, but does not play this weekend against Danbury, but then gets more into the lineup the week afterwards. But you do have room for him. You can play just 6 defensemen and sit Holy or sit Lathlen, or maybe Cam Cervone doesn't play. Maybe CC doesn't play, even though I think CC's deserved to be in the lineup 100% of the time. But I could see Zac maybe not playing. He hasn't been with the team for about 4 or 5 weeks, and maybe this lineup has looked good, even with people being down.
Yeah, I definitely don't disagree with that. And, to kind of jump back a little bit, I do definitely 100% agree that, either Brandt or Coach Q would have to tell Mac or Yvonne that they would have to sit out. I don't think they would just willingly, take the weekend off kind of thing. That's just the hockey mentality, in my opinion. But I do agree. And for me, I almost feel like for Sirota to play this weekend, something would either have to happen in Friday's game to allow him to play Saturday or something of that nature. Like something would have to happen to the lineup. Because if you, as you said, they're Wednesday, they're figuring out their lines and they're, kind of set in stone what they're going to do for this weekend. if that's how you have things planned, I don't think you should change that just because circumstances have changed elsewhere. That's just my opinion.
Agreed. Now, if you do play him, and nobody else sits, you make a decision on the defensive side and sit one of the D-men, then he plays as a 10 forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, he that's where I would put him. So now that's but we're not head coach. We've always said we don't want to. Yes,
Thank God.
We've always said we don't want to be the coach. We don't want to be making that decisions. But that's where we're at right now, right? Dan Stone is still up with the SPHL. He comes back, and there's probably going to be a decision that's going to have to be made. See, folks, this is what Taylor didn't want to happen, right? It's not that we don't want Zac Sirota back. It's that who goes? Who comes off the list? Who goes bye-bye? You can't keep 22 guys. You can only have 21 guys. Who goes? Who comes off the list? And that's the hard part, because we do have Gavin on suspension. Dan Stone is up in the SPHL, right? Zac Sirota comes back. Dan comes back. Gavin comes back. Decisions have to be made. And I'm not ready for that. I don't know about you, Taylor. I'm not ready for that.
I mean, I'm definitely not. I've been saying this for months now, that I've been so worried about the whole roster thing. And, we constantly talk about how happy we are to not be Brant.
Yeah.
Because it's just, no matter what the outcome is, whether it's, somebody else gets called up to an SPHL team or an ECHL team, or somebody just gets, released on waivers. Doesn't matter what the outcome is going to be. There's going to be so many people that are going to be upset, because every single person on this team is so beloved by the fans that it almost doesn't matter what you do. It really doesn't. And
it's hard for me. Let me tell you why. When I do the interviews, some of these guys, including Scott Romikers, who will talk my ass off until like 11 o'clock at night, when he should probably be already in bed getting ready for the game the next day. I get to know these guys. It's not easy for me to watch someone go. It wasn't easy for me. I still text message Cam Clark. I still check in with Blake Tosto. Now, Toast, that was his decision. His decision was like, I don't want to be in Binghamton. I want to be in the warmer parts of the SPHL. Because he thought, and Toast just got called up to the ECHL, right? So he just got his first call up to the ECHL. So maybe that did work for him a little bit. Consistency, maybe. I don't know. But he got called up. But I still kind of talk to some of these guys, text message and just, check in with them. And I think they're very appreciative of that. This is not easy for me either. I don't want to see any of them go. I don't. But let's talk about That's pretty
much how the rest of the fans feel, I'm sure.
I know. Let's talk about a kind of like a fun thing.
So it was, I was going to say it was sort of brought up, but I kind of brought it up. A celebrity contract signings that we've seen here and there throughout the league the last couple of years. I haven't seen them very often. Just every once in a while, you see one pop up. And most recently, the Columbus River Dragons signed a celebrity contract to George Laraque, former NHLer of 695 games played in the NHL and former enforcer for the Edmonton Oilers, Pittsburgh Penguins, Phoenix Coyotes, and Montreal Canadiens. The Black Bears have never done a celebrity signing, but do you think they should? So we're going to talk about who we would sign to a celebrity contract. And Bob, I'm going to ask for yours first.
Okay, let me ask the first question first. Should they? This is a tough one to really, truly answer. I think it would be a hell of a lot of fun to have a celebrity signing. Could you just imagine? And now suiting up, wearing number 18, Bob Howard of the Power Play Post Show as, the celebrity, player. No, that's not going to happen. But would it be fun? I think it'd be fun for the fans. Is it necessary for the Black Bears as an organization? I don't think so. I don't think they need to do it. I don't think that they need to. I think the fun that they put on the ice, winning all the time is like the ultimate. That's like the dream, right? You've won 2 championships in a row. You're poised to win a 3rd championship. So I think there's a lot of fun in that. I think the specialty jerseys bring a lot of fun to the fans. The engagement down in the corner brings a lot of the fun to the fans. So it would be a novelty thing, which I think it was obviously for Columbus. And I think Monroe did it last year or once this year at the beginning of the season. I believe they might have done that as well. Oh, wait, maybe Parker Muskel was considered a celebrity contract. I don't know. My point is, though, I don't know if the Black Bears should or need to. Why don't you answer that real quick?
I definitely don't think they need to. I 100% think that it would just be a fan thing. Because, as you said, it's not something that the organization needs. They're not, desperately trying to get people to come to the arena. They're not trying to desperately sell tickets. That's not an issue for the Binghamton area.
Right.
I do think that it would be a lot of fun for the fan base, especially if it was somebody who was tied to Binghamton, whether any of the teams that have played in Binghamton or somebody who was previously on a team. I think for people who are longstanding Binghamton fans, I think it would be huge, and I think it would be a lot of fun, even just as a press thing. And I know when Jeremy and I were talking about this, even before today, he even talked about, if you had somebody who was a former, played in Binghamton player, that if you did it on the Hall of Fame night, it would just kind of like, just another thing to tie all of this in together and just to even show more appreciation to the history and all that kind of stuff. So do they need to? No. Would I think the fans enjoy it? Yeah, I do.
Okay. So ask me again.
So who would you sign?
Okay. It's a very simple answer. And I think right now, because he stopped playing in 2016, 2017 for the Nottington Panthers in the EAIHL. I think it's a very simple answer. It would be Brian McGrattan.
Oh my God.
Now Brian McGrattan, like, he had 551 penalty minutes in 2004, 2005 for the Binghamton Senators. He leads like a lot of like penalty categories. He had 39 fights in that season alone in 2004, 2005. He would be my odds-on favorite that if you brought him in Hall of Fame night, like you said, I love that idea. That idea is awesome, right? Hall of Fame night, you're inducting. Now, he's already a Binghamton Hockey Hall of Famer. That's the beautiful part. You put him on the ice for a couple shifts. Maybe he gets in a fight. I think it would be great. But that is my pick. It would be Brian McGrattan.
Well, so as I already told you, Jeremy and I spent, probably 45 minutes on the phone earlier today talking about this.
Right.
And at the time, because I was telling him, I was like, I would like to choose somebody that, has played in Binghamton. But my problem is I don't know diddly squat about anything other than the FPHL and the Black Bears mostly.
Right.
And he's like, well, you could choose somebody from the Devils because that's when you first started coming to the arena. And I'm like, even then, I came to watch a fight and I came to probably 10 games total. So there's only one guy that I can remember from that team. And I was like, I'm not going to do that because it's just, that's already bad juju for Binghamton anyways. So we were ending the phone call, I still didn't have an answer for him. Yeah. His was, either Jeremy Yablonsky or Mike Sadeo.
Sure. Yeah. Mike Sadeo.
And as my day went on, as I was working, I thought about it even more. And my pick was also Brian McGrattan. But mine is because I really, really enjoyed the documentary Ice Guardians.
Yeah.
And, he obviously also played here in Binghamton. So I was just like, it just tied two things in for me. I was like, I absolutely loved that documentary. Mm-hmm. And he played a big part in that. And he, obviously, as you've mentioned, all the things that he just did. So that was my pick too, which is why I was dying when you said it. Because as soon as you started saying, like, he ended his career here, I was like, oh my God, we picked the same person.
Well, and let's be honest. That 2016, 2017 is not too bad. I think Georges Laraque stopped playing around that time as well, like in 2018, 2019, right? So you really have, that's the right time period. If you're going to come back and you're going to play a couple shifts and you're going to play at single A hockey, 4 or 5 or 6, maybe 7 years afterwards is okay. Like any longer than that, then it's really not a good idea. But there's just a part of me that would be like, he'd come in here, he'd be all smiles, he'd get a jersey out of the deal. And, it would just be kind of coming back. He's already a Binghamton Hockey Hall of Famer, right? He was already inducted into the Binghamton Hockey Hall of Fame, I believe in 1819. I mean, I only own the site that literally has it on, on there and is the main thing. He went into the Binghamton Hockey Hall of Fame in 2018. I was right. 2018. He was inducted on April 6, 2018, along with former Binghamton hockey head coach Larry Kish. So I don't know. I think it's a great choice. That's a great idea. Now I think we need to push for it.
Yeah, I mean, I right now I can't believe you and I chose the same person, because as Jeremy and I were talking about it, he goes, well, I can give you a bunch of names that'll throw Bobby off if you say them. And I was like, wow. So, that just shows you how much he knows that I know diddly squat about anything else outside of Binghamton hockey. Well, even Black Bears hockey at that.
Right.
But it was just funny because we were going back and forth about it, and we were reading so many stats and so many people, and I can't believe that we chose the same person. That's really funny in my opinion. But now, fans, tell us who you would like to see be signed to a celebrity contract. You can tell us on the post on Facebook, in any comment section that you find us on. We'd like to hear your thoughts, your opinions, your reasoning, whatever. You can tell us who you'd think should consider signing a celebrity contract to. That's never happened before. Maybe we can push for it.
Yeah,
who knows?
That would be pretty cool. So check us out on Spotify, YouTube, however you're listening to the show, or just do it through Facebook, wherever you see us talk about it. I'll even include that little part of it in the description to kind of prompt you guys a little bit as well. I would be very interested to see what the fans think. Obviously, Taylor and I kind of agreed upon Brian McGrattan. I think that's great. Again, we can't disagree on anything, can we?
Yeah, apparently not. I thought this was going to be a great thing. We were going to choose different people and we'd have like a good, back and forth. No, we chose the same person. And now at this point, I think we just got to approach Brant at the same time and just, try to push for this. Maybe we'll get Andreas involved and we'll just, we'll set the whole thing up and we'll get it going. Yeah,
maybe Andreas, if you're listening, you need to reach out to Brian McGrattan's people, get him in here. Let's do that. Let's get it done. Let's get a celebrity. I mean, it does. Now, here's the other thing that fans don't know, maybe, and I'll help fill them in. When you sign somebody to a celebrity contract, it's kind of like one of the college kids coming in. It does not affect your roster, right? So you can have an extra body on the bench. He could go out there and maybe play a shift or two here and there.
He can go sit in the penalty box and eat all the Twizzlers for Don and everybody else who can't eat Twizzlers in the penalty box.
That's true. Now, it would be if that were to happen, say Brian McGrattan shows up on Hall of Fame night and he can be the celebrity contract player and everything. That would mean on our bench, we would have 2 former NHLers on there, John Quinville and, of course, Brian McGrattan. Now, of course, fans, I don't know anything. This was just a topic when I asked about a topic to Taylor, because every once in a while I'm like, I really don't have anything to talk about in the first segment. And then we usually talk for 45 minutes anyways. But she came up with this, and I thought this was a great idea. And truly, I just think this year or next year would be the right time for something like that with a guy like Brian McGrattan, because he's not so far away from his playing days that it would look really, really bad. And all you'd have to do is work out for like maybe about a month ahead of time, and he could be ready for it. So great topic, Taylor. And fans, again,
listen, if LaRock can do it, he's 5 years older than McGrattan. So yeah. I'm sure they can manage. Yeah, absolutely. So fans, we really are interested. Who else would you like to see sign a celebrity contract with the Binghamton Black Bears? Put it in any one of the comment sections and just let us know. I think it'd be a great idea. Okay. Yeah, and listen, if you agree with us, maybe we can really push this McGrattan thing.
Yeah, I would love it. I love it. I'm not sure what he's doing these days. I'm not sure if he's working anywhere, if he's scouting, for the NHL or something. I don't know. I'll have to dig into that a little bit further. I still know a few people in the AHL and that have ties that might know what's going on with McGrattan. And if I can't get him signed to a celebrity contract, maybe I can get him on the goddamn show. That would be great.
There you go.
I do have a great story. One time he was suspended when he was playing for the Binghamton Senators, and I went up to Syracuse to watch the game. And during the intermissions, I would go down and just walk in circles, well, sort of circles. In Syracuse, you can't really walk in circles at the Onondaga War Memorial. But I was down there, and at the one place where I was going to go up to my seat, there's a beer vendor, and there was Brian McGrattan. So I decided to buy him beer. So while he was suspended, but he was at the game, I bought him beer. I don't know if that was a good decision to make, but he was happy about it.
Well, hey, he's still involved in hockey because what I just looked up, he is active in coaching and player mentorship.
Oh, I did not know
He joined the Hamilton Kilties B. It's an OJHL as an assistant coach in 2025 to work with junior level players. He continues to serve as a mentor and ambassador, focusing on substance abuse recovery and player assistance following his previous role in player development with the Calgary Flames.
You know what? I would love to reach out and get him on the show then, especially if he's talking about recovery, and things of that nature, because that is very important, and we should be talking about that stuff more and more, especially in sports. Okay, so coming up next here on the Power Play Post Show, my little interview with Dan Wieber. I was expecting to go 20 minutes with him. I think I went 30 minutes with him. So you got a little extra stuff. We also did the 6 more questions that you'll hear on Sunday. And boy, did I screw that up, because I've already done these 6 more questions with Dan Wieber. So I didn't have to do that with him, but I did it anyways. And then I just kind of switched up things on the fly with Dan, which was kind of hilarious. So you guys will be able to check that out on Sunday. So coming up next here on the Power Play Post Show, I'll stop talking now. Dan Wieber. We'll be right back, right after this, right here on the Power Play Post Show.
Hi, this is Don Biggs from the 92-93 Binghamton Rangers. Hi, this is Brandon Buczynski.
This is Grady Wittenberg, the voice of the Binghamton Senators, and you're listening to the Power Play Post Show.
Here is another Power Play Post Show interview exclusive with Bob Howard.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Power Play Post Show. Very excited. He's a good friend of the show. He's a good friend of mine. I absolutely love his father and his mother. Great people, great hockey family. He comes to us from the Binghamton Black Bears. Now, I don't know if I should call him a forward, a center, a defenseman. He's doing it all right now. He is Dan Wieber. Dan, welcome back to the show. It's always good to talk to you.
Thanks for having me, Bob. It's good to be back.
So how should I introduce you? Are you a defenseman this upcoming weekend? Are you going to be back on the blue line, or are you a forward and a center now?
You can just call me a Swiss Army knife. Good at everything. But no, I'll be back at D. We were just shorthanded up front, so I know Jesse Anderson goes back and forward. Scott's Ramaker's gone back and forth. So just kind of my turn to go up, get our new guy Sammy in the lineup.
Yeah.
And I loved his performance from the weekend. He's tough.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's tough. Okay, so talk to me a little bit about the conversation. Was the conversation with Q, or was it with Brant about you going up and playing forward and not just playing forward? You played center as well, which is an important role on a hockey team, especially on a line. How'd this conversation happen?
Well, Sherwood knows I played forward in college for 2 years, and I did pretty well. And last year I played a weekend in Motor City as forward. And so he knows I'm capable of going out there and doing the right things and being in the right spots, playing a role. And so he just kind of came up to me and was like, hey, we're short forwards. We might have to move you up front. And I was like, if you need to, I'm ready. And so I think Wednesday lines came out, and I was third line center between E and Shanks. And I was like, man, I don't know how to take a draw, but I'll give it a shot. So, no, it was fun playing center, having that responsibility in the D zone, and then just kind of being creative and finding holes in the O zone is always fun instead of sitting at the blue line.
Were you able to, when you were on the ice, were you able to think, offense and forward first, or did you still have in the back of your mind, I got to drop back a little bit, I got to cover the blue line a little bit, or were you comfortable kind of letting that go a little bit and, going deep into the zone?
Definitely as a center, I felt like I had a little bit more responsibility on Friday night, and then I played wing on Saturday.
Right.
And I maybe played a little bit higher of an F3, just not because as a defenseman, I know it's easier to play with a higher F3 and always having that guy there. So I maybe stuck around a little bit more and then kept the defense pinching on the walls and holding the blue. So I don't know. It's nice as a defenseman having that F3 high. So I felt like I had that responsibility more as a center. But on Saturday night, I just kind of was like, all right, I'll go muck it up in the corners.
and was that fun? I mean, did you like doing that?
Yeah, I love playing forward too. It's fun going out there, not having as much defensive responsibility when you're in the O zone, and especially with Watertown just chipping pucks out and flying guys, you're able to stay in the zone and work it down low. It was fun being up front with Shanks and E and going out there and banging some body and creating opportunities for us.
Yeah, and you guys did well. I mean, listen, I've always said, and I don't know if you guys realize this too, but you guys can take anybody from any part of this lineup. I mean, we saw it with C-Mac playing forward last year, even though I know he only got like a shift or two. But you guys can really plug anybody from anywhere in the lineup into any spot, and it seems to work. Why do you think that is?
Just that next man up culture we kind of built here is, like I said, Jesse's definitely done it before, of where we need a guy up front, and he stepped up mid-game, and when we need him in the back end, he's been solid this year. And then Chichu stepping in Dan Stone's role this past weekend, and he next man up mentality. I thought he had a great weekend, and so just that culture and people in the locker room that are able to step up to that role.
And there's the preparation, obviously, during the week. That probably does help, get you guys in the right mindset. So when, coach comes to you on a Wednesday and says, hey, we're going to put you in as, the third line center, at least on Friday, that you guys are prepared for it. You're just ready for it because of the practices and how extensive. Like, I've heard some teams barely have a practice, and yet you guys, it's a pro practice.
Yeah, that was nice on Wednesday, seeing Tuesday lines coming out, and then we did a little bit more flow stuff, and then Wednesday came around, we did a lot of line work, 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s. Like, it was fun being up front and playing with them and learning their habits and trying to match them.
Recently, you guys, and we'll talk about this past weekend's games in a little bit, but I want to go back to last week where you guys actually, 2 weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, where you guys actually went to the farm and practiced outside in the evening time. Can you talk a little bit about that and why, practices like that sometimes are important for you guys?
Yeah, we did that on Tuesday after coming back from Port Huron. So it was our first practice back, and it was a lot of fun going out there. Everyone's hooting and hollering. We just did a 3-on-3 versus each other, 3 games, or best of 3 series. Ended up going into 3 games, and it was just a lot of fun and like no physicality. You guys are toe dragging, spinoramas, just that love for hockey that you get at such a young age. Like, everyone on the team has played an outdoor rink, like pickup hockey outside in my backyard and rinks around town. Like, everyone has done that at some point in their life, and just brought you back to your roots. And Sherwood and Q hopped on the teams, their team captains, and Sherwood was having a ball out there hooting and hollering like, we got them boys wherever we want them. And just, it was a ton of fun being out there, and the farm's a special place. He really takes great care of it, so it's always fun going there.
like, how good is the ice there? Like, I don't know if, the people who run the farm can, keep the ice good as it needs to be for pro players to go out there and practice. What's the ice like?
It's harder ice, so but it's outdoors. You got to keep it lower temperatures. You don't have the climate control. You do have an indoor rink, so it's definitely harder ice. And after a while, it does get snowy, but other than that, the ice conditions are great. It was perfect weather out. I think ended up being like 20 or 15 degrees out. We were all getting a little sweat in, but it wasn't too hot, not too cold. Ended up being a gorgeous night.
Yeah, and it's in a beautiful area of Vestal, New York. Is it one of those things where you can kind of look around and you see the mountains, you see the rolling hills here in the Binghamton Vestal area and go, wow, this is just a beautiful place to have a hockey rink?
For sure, and it's like we've gone during the day before, and it's really nice. You do see forever. It is kind of up on that hill. You see valleys, the hills. It is a gorgeous spot. And then in the nighttime, you don't really see much, but he's built such a facility there. He's got the warming house above the locker rooms, and then the benches are all nice, and he's got it well built there.
And the trip from where you guys dress and put your skates on and head up, you guys do it on like an actual tractor pulling a wagon, correct?
No, we didn't have to do that.
No?
I think for tournaments they do that just because there's not enough room. But right underneath the warming house by the arena, there's benches for us to get dressed on.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I guess we don't get the full farm experience.
No, that's too bad. That's too bad. I got to imagine it's a really fun thing, and it kind of makes the practice. Now I hear there was a black team and a green team. Who won which side won?
The black team won. Coach Q's team had won. We lost game one. I was on green with Sherwood. And we lost game one, won game two, had a lead in game three, and blew it.
I'm not looking to get you in trouble, but I heard Sherwood might have been a little gassed. Is that true?
Oh, he's in no player condition, but he gave it his all. He's got heart.
Okay, fair enough. Like I said, I didn't want to get you into trouble or anything like that. Shurzy, if you got any problem with that question, you can come to me. Come to me, buddy.
He's in the weight room more than most guys. We'll give him that.
That's fair. But I'd heard that he maybe was a little out of breath because I asked him. It was like, listen, are you going to play this weekend? And you guys are short guys. You could put Q out there. You could put yourself out there. He goes, no. We got a plan. It's okay. So going into games like you guys had against Port Huron, where it is just kind of craziness on the ice. They play a game that's a little bit different. I call it a very highly physical game where they're body on body, stick on stick. They're doing whatever they can to kind of get in your way. And then you play another physical style of hockey against Watertown, but it's a little bit different because they're trying to play your style of hockey as well, but with some body on body. Yeah, what I saw from you guys against Port Huron was a more aggressively physical team from the Black Bears. Was that kind of the plan going in?
Well, we always know going to Port Huron, I describe their type of play as violent. They have violent bodies. Their sticks are violent. Like,
sure,
it's not always stick. Sometimes it's in your hands, but it's not always getting called and whatever. It's hockey, but they do play a violent type of game where they're always on you. Where you go to Watertown, it's not as violent, but it's very it can be physical. And so we prepare ourselves for both. And we know in the physical play where we might be able to hold on to the puck a little longer and then make a play, absorb it, or move our feet and get away from the physicality. Or in Port Huron, it's a little more violent. We might not have the time and space to play. So we got to create opportunities. And sometimes the opportunities come from us being physical right back to them. Us knocking them down, us taking the puck from them. So we prepare for both, but mentality-wise, we're always going to try to be a physical team.
Yeah, it's a very interesting concept that I've kind of like been hearing a lot of the NHL teams talk about a little bit more, which is that when you play outstanding defense, when your team is out there playing really good defense, it will create opportunities for the offense. I'm sure you've heard that before. And I know that a lot of times you guys do play a very solid defensive game, which shuts people down, and they don't get a lot of shots on goal on your goaltenders. But it seems to produce a lot of offensive opportunities. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think it's something that if you play from from the blue line out, you have a better chance of winning.
Yeah, I'm not going to give away any cheats and secrets.
Sure.
But we do like in the D zone, we'll shut plays down as early as we can. That means is before the blue line or as soon as we have an opportunity. We're shutting plays down, tying guys up in the corner, and we're transitioning quick. We're moving our feet up ice, and that can catch teams off guard when they have 3 guys low. We get a 3-on-2 right out of our zone. Mm-hmm. Or D hops up, we could have a 3-on-4, create opportunities. We have nothing, and we're putting the puck in an area, we're going to get it right back. So the ability to transition quick out of our zone is when we're capitalizing and creating offense out of defense.
Did you know going into Watertown when you were, going to be lining up, at least in the first game, as the center and then playing wing on Saturday, did you know you were going to be so effective and have the ability to not only score a goal, which we don't need to talk about, not getting credited for, but also all the assists as well? You were a big part of, being a playmaker on 5 other goals as well.
I mean, I would always hope I have success on the score sheet playing up front. It's a lot more score after you're on the score sheet more as a forward, I believe. So It's just being able to get my stick in the way, create turnovers, and then drawing guys to me and making a play. It's kind of been my, Sherwood put me up front. He goes, just you have a good stick and just put it in the way, and I create turnovers and have opportunities to find people and give people scoring opportunities.
Dan, why do you think the team has been so good again this year? What's been kind of the secret sauce here? Is it the same as the last couple of years, or is there something that's different that's also helped continue the success of this team?
Not a whole much has changed in our philosophy-wise. We have been preaching for years, putting pucks in areas where we can go get them. We believe that our forwards will create turnovers against other defensemen on other teams. And we've always just been a quick transitioning team. And I think that's what really hurts teams is our ability to get pucks back and our ability to transition quickly up the ice. And we have guys that like Mac Jansen, Stubbs, Kirkby, Bondo that are playmakers and goal scorers that are just always going to be finding the back of the net.
Right. They can do both, right? I think that's important here is that they're not just goal scorers. They're also playmakers. They set people up. I mean, right now, Bondarenko, it's ridiculous how many assists he has on this season, but it seems like, and even on Friday night when you guys scored 10 goals, he had an assist on 5 of those goals. I mean, 50%, assist rate, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know where he's at, but I think he's single digit away from breaking a single season record. He is. I think so. Last time I looked, we were talking about it. You got to be close, man. And he is darn close with 16 games left.
Let me ask you about each one of the defensemen. Let's start with Cheech Olathan. Tell me a little bit about Cheech that maybe we don't know when it comes to his game. I know a lot of the fans are rooting for him to get that first goal. We saw him a couple times in the last couple weeks have some really good chances, and we're hoping for that. Tell me a little bit about Cheech.
No, he's a great hockey player. I mean, we're all rooting for him to get his first goal. We're putting him on the power play in Watertown. He's getting great opportunities down the slot, and everyone wants him to get that first one. But he will get it. He's going to keep shooting. It'll go in eventually if off someone's shin pad like my first pro goal, and hopefully he can get a few more from there. But He's a great guy, great defenseman. Like I said last time I was on the pod, he's probably the most interesting guy on the team when he does speak up.
Uh-huh.
But No, I don't know if there's much I can explain. I heard he went on the pod and everyone says a great interview. I'm still behind on the podcast, so I haven't listened to his yet.
Oh, come on, Dan. Do I have to talk to Bailey and make sure that she's got you on a schedule to listen to the podcast every single week?
Just been slacking on the podcast lately.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't hurt my feelings like that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Cam Cervone. Talk to me a little bit about Cam and his style of play as well.
His style of play is a very north player. He likes moving the puck up quick, which is great for our team. We like transitioning quickly as we can get the puck on our forward stick and in the zone, and the better. And he's very physical, brings a great body to the game. He's always physical. Usually he has one of the biggest hits of the game. It's either between him, Shanks, or E.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's really physical, has a hard shot, and I'm surprised he doesn't score more as well.
Okay, so Jesse Anderson, Jesse started as a forward, at least with this team, and then was, transitioned into being a defenseman. Talk a little bit about Jesse. How important is he to the D-Corps?
He's very important. He's a guy that can move his feet quickly. He's a fast skater, so he can get out of situations quickly by moving his feet. He spins out of plays on the regroups, and he's able to just fly up the ice, and guys get drawn to him, and he finds an open guy. He does well having that forward experience of when I have an opportunity to skate it and not dump it, he does take that opportunity, and he does like going to the net. He has that drive like a forward does. Yeah.
Which is great. And the one thing I love about him is like he'll sneak up and like all of a sudden, boom, he's in a fight. He's defending one of his teammates, and he's got no problem dropping the gloves.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that'll always stick up for you.
All right. His D partner recently is Scott Romakers. I mean, what's interesting about Scott is he's another guy that, played forward, has kind of dropped back to play D. Can you talk a little bit about his ability to do both of those things?
Yeah, similar to Jesse Anderson, like he brings a great forward aspect on the D side. He's very offensive. He shoots the puck well. And when he is in the offensive zone, maybe it's not a shot, but he's finding guys back door. And he has that skating ability to go zone to zone and gain zones, carry it down low and make a play. And he's definitely stepped up his backward skating, transitioning. He's really formed a great defenseman. So it's good to see someone like him as a forward pick up the D so quickly and be great at it.
Do you think potentially, because you did play forward in college for a couple years, right? Do you think that when you play forward and defense that you transition better back and forth when you're asked to do it, number one? And number two, does it make you a better two-way forward knowing that you've played D and there's a comfortability there?
I think somewhat. Obviously, having the background knowledge of playing a couple seasons or 2 full seasons at forward under my belt as in college helped me get an opportunity to go play forward.
Sure.
And it definitely, having played D, having that mindset of a high F3, where is my guy in the D zone, man on man, when it's up top, or I'm supporting the D down low, and knowing where I would want to center if I was a defenseman. So definitely helps having that knowledge of what each position prefers, how to help the other positions when you are in the other.
So let's
if you're forward or D.
Yeah, let's talk about the first line D guys that we've had this season. We'll start with Dan Stone. Talk why Dan Stone is sometimes so quiet. I don't always notice him on the ice. I know that's always my crutch of saying if I don't notice a D man, it means he's doing his job, right? If I notice a D man, either he's in trouble or he's scoring a goal. But Dan Stone seems to do a lot of the little things right more consistently than others. Is that correct?
I would say that's 100% correct. Dan Stone's your reliable defenseman every time. He is patient on the blue line in the offensive zone when he has the puck. He has his head up in the D zone. He knows where his guy is. And he's big, tall, so he he can be physical. He has a good stick, and he's angling guys out. Not many people get opportunities when Dan Stone's out there, so he's a well-rounded, great defenseman.
Even when I've seen Dan Stone get beat, and it doesn't happen that often, right? But, maybe a team's coming in. I think I saw it once with the PD games, right? Where, someone's coming in and they're passing it across and Legoff is getting the goal. I'm like, Dan Stone did everything right. He did every single thing right, but somebody wasn't back there to kind of assist when Legoff got the pass and then scored the goal. But I'm like looking at it going, Dan Stone did everything correct in that situation. It's very interesting when I kind of watch him and I see, wow, he does a lot of the good things right most of the time. D-Raz, he's obviously got a scoring touch on him, and that came on pretty quickly for him. Talk a little bit about what you think, about D-Raz's game so far.
Yeah, D-Raz, he's been phenomenal for us. I mean, scoring, I want to say almost 20 goals now.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, somewhere around 20 for us already. I mean, being up top on the power play and having the patience, moving the puck, having his head up and finding open guys. He's been a huge factor in our power play success, and in our 5-on-5 plays, carrying the pucks zone after zone and being able to gain lines and making plays. A great player for us.
Okay, and then the new guy, Sam Holy. I apologize.
Sam Holy.
Yeah.
No, a nice guy. I haven't talked to him a whole lot. I think we had 3 practices together, but yeah, he had a physical game. I loved his fight.
Yep.
And I think he's going to be a great addition to the team. He's definitely got a hard shot. I was hoping he could get a Gordie Howe hat trick his first pro game, but he was 1 goal shy. Yeah,
he had the assist, and of course the great fight. Our co-host Taylor was there in Watertown. She took a great video of it. It's really great. And then you see Tyson right there, kind of like tapping his stick and everything, just really enjoying it. I think all of you guys really enjoyed that fight.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I always ask everybody this, Dan, after January, especially in this team. What is the goal for you guys this year?
Every year I've been on the Black Bears, we've had goals. Our first year, it was like make it to the championship, win the championship. The next year is like repeat. And every year we've won more games. So this year, I think our goal really realistically would be to set the record for most wins in a 56 game season, which we set last year at 49.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my goal as the team. Like, I don't know if it's going around widely because it's kind of something we have to win out from here on out, but it's definitely in the back of people's minds. Like, we have an opportunity.
You could get to 50. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So
and
that's kind of the goal in the back of my mind. And I've spread it around like, hey, we have an opportunity here. So let's not take any of these next games lightly.
Right. And what's crazy is, like, even just recently, with CJ and Gavin out, and then Mac Jansen gets injured, you guys still go and you can still win. I remember a game last year, I think it was down in Danbury, Dan, where 7 of the guys were out, right? And you guys still came away with a big win. And it's just amazing on how deep this team is. Is this the deepest team in the league?
It has been for the past 3 years. I will stand by that. Our third line could play power play first line for a lot of teams in this league. That's just the depth we have. So getting our third line out there against other third lines, like, that's a huge mismatch.
Right. That's awesome. I do agree. I think it's very deep. Your thoughts on the impact of USA winning gold on Sunday, and also, you're from the state of Minnesota, the state of hockey. We've talked about that multiple times. What about also, because I think the Minnesota women's team, the professional team there, had, I think, 3 or 4 players on that team that won gold as well on Friday. How impactful, how important is it for Team USA to win both of those gold medals?
It's huge for the United States. I mean, me being from Minnesota, I've never seen the Wild win a Stanley Cup.
Right.
In my lifetime, I've never seen the United States win gold. So this is my first experience really watching the games, knowing the players. I mean, yeah, they have 4 nations and World Juniors, but it's not the same when it's the Olympics. And so, I mean, I can't imagine the ages from 4 to 12 that are not really into hockey or have heard of it and then watch that game and be like, oh, I want to be a part of that. I want to pick up a hockey stick. So, I mean, I really hope the hockey community grows after this and the interest in the sport can really butterfly effect and really develop some great players in this youth hockey or youth in the nation.
I was listening to Biz on Spittin' Chicklets talk about the win because, of course, he's Canadian, but spends so much time here in America doing all the things that he does. And he said, first of all, it was an outstanding game. They deserved to win because they scored that last goal. But he talked about how just the growth of hockey in America also helps Canada when it comes to, hockey as well, because a strong hockey market in America is good for the NHL just as a whole. We are seeing players and we're seeing people play at even single A that is just like so much better than it was even just 5 years ago. And I can only imagine with the way the national development program for USA Hockey has grown so much since 98, 99 when it started, and it became so important there in Ann Arbor, Michigan. This is just going to make it explode even more. And that maybe in 5, 10, 15 years, single A hockey, double A hockey will even have better players than even maybe today. Do you think that's even a possibility?
100%. I agree. I mean, you look at the program, the Fed 3 years ago compared to now is much, so much different. Better. And so I hope the league continues to grow in that way where more than just us can be bragging like, hey, we might be able to play in the SP. Like our team could compete in the SP. Like I hope our whole league gets like that. So then maybe the SP grows as well. It's the development where if your bottom leagues are this good, your top leagues have to be that much better.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Yeah, it starts at the bottom and it really does work its way out. I mean, it's gotten better every year I've played in it.
Yeah, 100% it has. They are putting a team in northern part of Minnesota. Have you ever been there? Have you ever played in that arena?
I have. Only in a youth hockey tournament, though.
Do you think it's a good idea to bring a single A team to Minnesota? I mean, I don't want to call you hockey snobs up there, but you guys expect high-level hockey in Minnesota. Do you think it's still a good idea? If it's marketed well, do you think it can do well?
I really do think that they have a cool arena. It's a mini Ralph of the University of North Dakota. Mm-hmm. So it should be good. I mean, that part of Minnesota is 3.5 maybe 4 hours away from the Twin Cities where the Wild play. So you don't get much of those people driving that far for a Wild game. They might do it 3-4 times a season, but it's not as often. But if you bring pro hockey to them, you might see that community really grow. And I mean, hockey grows deep in Minnesota. It runs deep. So it's hard to say it won't do well if they have good foundation, if they have a good owner. The travel schedule is going to suck. They're going to have to fly places. Otherwise, you won't be able to get good players there. You have to be able to treat the players well. I don't know what facilities they have there. It's been over 15 years since I've been there.
The arena still looks beautiful. I mean, I've seen pictures of the inside of it. I've seen a video of the inside of it. It looks great inside there. It's a beautiful little, like you said, it's a smaller version of the Ralph, but it's got this great, like Lake Placid, New York, that arena up there, which is only used for youth and tournaments, doesn't have any pro team in Lake Placid, which I wish they would get a team up there. That would be amazing as well. I think people just being able to go in there and play pro hockey in Lake Placid would be pretty cool, especially if you're an American. But the arena there is really, really nice. So hopefully the rest of the facility is good as well.
I agree. And I mean, I hope the league keeps expanding and puts more teams out there so their travel isn't as bad. But as long as they can get a good owner that will take care of the players, I think they'd have no problem building a good foundation there.
All right. Awesome. Dan, thank you so much for coming back on again. I always appreciate getting to talk to you. I know that you guys, have 14 games left. You guys have, a pretty good schedule coming up where it's just Danbury, Watertown, and you got 2 games against Port Huron. And really the only travel you guys have is to go out to Columbus, Indiana to play the Sentinels a couple more times, where I know they're a decent defensive team. They don't have much of an offensive attack, but you guys got a pretty decent schedule coming up for you to kind of maybe complete that goal that you kind of were hinting about. And, you guys have had a very good February. You guys had a great October, great December, great February so far. So I think you guys have a good chance to kind of maybe complete the goals that you guys want to complete this year.
Well, I appreciate that. I think we definitely want to accomplish those goals. I mean, besides winning a championship, that's right now our regular season goal.
Perfect. He is Dan Wieber of the Binghamton Black Bears. You can call him a forward. You can call him a center. You can call him a defenseman. He'll be playing defense this upcoming weekend. Dan, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you. Call me anything but a goalie.
Fair enough. And we'll be right back right after this, right here on the Power Play Post Show.
If you're a Binghamton hockey fan, then you need to check out binghamtonhockey.net for all your news, stats, information, the Binghamton Hockey Hall of Fame, top 10 lists, profiles, and so much more. That's binghamtonhockey.net. You're listening to the Power Play Post Show.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Power Play Post Show. During the Dan Wieber interview, Taylor and I watched Ice Gardens. No, we didn't. But now I want to, and it's on Amazon Prime, which is great. So I am going to queue that up, hopefully within the next week, and actually watch it, because I have not watched it yet. And I knew about it. I knew what it was about, and I did remember that Brian was in there. Great choice by the two of us. All right. When you subscribe and like episodes, it signals to YouTube that hockey fans are engaging, which helps recommend the show to more viewers. As our community grows, and it's growing every single week, which we really appreciate, we're able to deliver more interviews, insights, and hockey discussions. Subscribing and liking is the most effective way and completely free way to support the show. Join fellow hockey fans and subscribe on YouTube today, and also on Spotify. Please hit that subscribe button on there as well. All right, Taylor, let's get into this upcoming weekend, because we actually get to face off against a familiar foe that we haven't faced in almost 2 months now.
Yeah, that's right. We're not facing the Watertown Wolves this weekend. We are going to preview the upcoming games against the Danbury Hat Tricks. Everybody's so excited to go back there, I'm sure.
Woohoo! You guys are going, right? You're going on Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that's
But
the plan. Listen, he buys tickets and he's like, we're doing this. And I say, okay.
You guys like a second home down in there in Danbury, right? You got the key to the city and everything, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they would let me run the garbage place there too if I really wanted to.
All right.
Anyways, the Black Bears and the Hat Tricks have played 9 times so far this season, and the Black Bears have won all 9 games. In the 9 wins, the Black Bears have 8 regulation wins and 1 shootout win, which happened in Danbury on December 12th. The Black Bears have earned 26 of 27 possible points this season versus Danbury. The Black Bears have also outscored the Hat Tricks 52 goals to 20 goals, which is insane. Which includes 1 shutout on October 18th, another game played in Danbury.
Yeah, I know I'm laughing. I don't mean to laugh, but that's just a crazy number to me.
It is. And I looked earlier because you had said, I don't remember, I think we were still off the air talking about, the goals allowed. And we're still the lowest for numbers for goals allowed. Because you had said we were. And then I looked and we still are. It's very close. I think Port Huron is close.
Yeah. Well, I think
we have like 100 and what is it?
Well, we gave up 4 goals twice against the team we played last weekend, the Wolves. And then against Watertown, we gave up like 3 goals and 5 goals, 6 goals, something like that.
Yeah. So our total is 105. Right. And Port Huron is 109.
Yeah. So it closed up because
it's close.
Yeah. It's gotten closer because there was a difference between us and Port Huron by 12 or 13. And then we've had in the last 4 games. Now there were situations, reasons why, maybe our defense hadn't been as good the past couple weeks, but it definitely closed up a little bit. And I was talking to somebody today, Taylor, about the schedule, and I'm not going to say who, and I'm not going to say what else we were talking about because it's something else that maybe we'll talk about in the summertime once some more information comes to me that I'm kind of possibly trying to dig for a little bit. And I kind of digged a little bit, but I was talking to somebody today and we were talking about how the Black Bears schedule just didn't work. I don't know if it was the right schedule for this Black Bears team. And the reason why I say that is because we have won 9 games in a row against the Danbury Hat Tricks. We have won 13 out of 14 games against the Watertown Wolves. And then we split against Athens. We split against PD. We've done pretty good against Port Huron. We've won 4 out of 5 out of 6. And we have almost split with Twin City where we won 3, they won 2. I don't know, and this other person kind of agreed with me a little bit. I don't know if the schedule has been a good schedule for the Black Bears this year, meaning that maybe we did have way too many easy opponents, being that we played 33 games against Danbury and Watertown. And let's be honest, they haven't been good teams this year.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would disagree with that, especially with how the season has gone. Obviously, it's definitely in the favor of, the amount of wins and stuff. But something that I had seen earlier was from Justin Coachman talking about, it's hard for Watertown when, half of their season is playing the number 1 team in their division.
And I don't disagree with that.
And thinking about it even that, because, sitting here as the Black Bears, they're winning, but we're sick and tired of facing the Watertown Wolves and the Danbury Hat Tricks on repeat and just over and over again. And one weekend we're in Watertown, one weekend we're in Danbury. That does get really old. Well, then on the opposite end of that, you have to think how those teams feel to face against Binghamton Black Bears and, get their butt kicked every weekend and that kind of thing. That's got to feel even worse. So I definitely don't disagree with that. And I feel like the other teams are also feeling like that way as well.
Yeah. And for different reasons, right? I want to see more competitive games is what I want to see. When we were up 10-1 against the Wolves, I was like, this is just not fun hockey for me as a fan. Now, I've been a fan of hockey since 1980. That's a long time. It's 46 years. If you watch the Olympics, they told you that multiple times because it was 46 years. That's how long I've been a hockey fan, is as long as it took for us to win 2 gold medals in the Olympics. I like to see competitive hockey. I've talked about this many times on the show, Taylor. I like a 2-1 game. I like a 3-1 game. People say, oh, it's boring. I want to see goals. I want to see fights, blah, 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 blah. But I guess it's fine if you are scoring 7 and the team you're beating is scoring 6, because at least it's competitive then. Then you just bash the goaltenders and the defense all day long. And I don't think that's good either, right? I like to see competitive games. That's why the Black Bears games against the Twin City Hat Tricks, the Twin City Thunderbirds and the Carolina Thunderbirds, when they were them, and the 1-0 games and the 3-1 games, those games were good games to watch, and they were fun. And there was a back and forth. There was a strategy. There was the best player on the ice has to score a goal and beat one of the better goaltenders in the league and one of the better systems in the league, or whatever it is. But when we're beating somebody 10-1, and then at the end of the game, it's 10-4 because our defense collapsed a little bit. And I don't mean that personally against any one person on the team. They were tired. They were shorthanded. That's just the nature of it, right? But I mean, it was 10-1 at one point. And I don't know. It's just not always fun to cover and to watch games like that. I want to see more competitive games. That's my opinion. So when I was talking to this person today about the schedule and said, I don't think the week schedule has helped the Black Bears that much. Yes, it's given us a great record going into now. A lot of the guys have a lot of great confidence that they can do what they can do. But man, I almost would have rather have seen, instead of a 10-1 game against Watertown, maybe it would be if it was a 4-2 game against Port Huron. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you. And I think there's other people that are feeling that way as well. I mean, just earlier last week, I was talking to somebody and we got talking about the games, and they told me that they haven't actually been to a game since before January, because they're like, you show up and, well, they're going to beat the team by at least 5 goals. And he's like, it's not that entertaining anymore. He's like, yeah, it's nice to have the goals and it's nice to have the wins, but to just blow out the competition, he's like, it's not worth going when it's so cold out and you freeze your butt off to walk to the arena. And I was like, I'll show up no matter what, but I understand that viewpoint, and I get, kind of that feeling. And I'm sure the teams that, on the opposite end of that are really feeling that, especially, Watertown, who has been struggling and seems to continue to struggle. They're having a lot of personal issues on their end this season and previous seasons that they're trying to get worked out and figured out, and facing the Black Bears a ton of times in one season is not going to help their case at all.
No, totally agree with that. All right, let's continue on with the preview.
So back to Danbury, as we've talked about Port Huron and Watertown a little bit there.
Yep.
The last two teams. The last time the two teams met, now that I can finally speak again, was the weekend of December 19th and 20th. On the 19th, a Friday, the Black Bears won 4-2 with goals from CJ Stubbs, who had 2, Tyson Kirkby, and Zac Sirota. On the 20th, a Saturday, the Black Bears won 11-3 with Austin Durazio and Garrett Sargis scoring 2 goals each in the game. And then both games were played in Binghamton.
And then there was 8 other guys that scored in those games.
That was our perfect game, minus the Dan Wieber thing.
Yeah. Was that the game? Oh, that might have been the game. That's right. It might have been the game. I was looking at that game earlier today, and I didn't realize that was the Dan Wieber perfect game. And in my opinion, that would have been a perfect game. Well, either way. Yeah, it's been 2 months. Maybe Danbury looks differently. I don't know. They won 2 games last week, but you'll talk about that here in a second.
Yeah, we'll get to what kind of differences the Hat Tricks are compared to the last time we faced them. The Black Bears are first in the Empire Division with a 36-5-1 record, 106 points, and the only team that has clinched into the 25-26 Commissioner Cups playoff. The Hat Tricks are fifth in the Empire Division with 17-25 record, and 53 points. Last weekend in Indiana versus the Sentinels, the Hat Tricks won both games with a 5-2 win on Friday night and then a 6-2 win on Saturday night. The Black Bears last weekend beat the Wolves in a 2-game setup in Watertown, winning Friday night 10-4 and then Saturday night 9-4.
Okay, so Taylor, I did put a picture in of the most recent transactions for the Danbury Hat Tricks because there have been some moves that have been made and some changes. I personally think we'll see Kyle Penton in the games goaltending wise, unless they play, somebody else on one of the games. But I think we'll see Kyle Penton. But why don't you kind of go through a little bit of these here. Now, the first one doesn't really matter. I don't even remember this guy at all. Anyways, but if you go from the second one down and kind of like go through the roster moves, because they've had a lot of roster moves recently.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me, again, of Watertown. I mean, Watertown's kind of in this list a little bit.
Exactly.
But there's been a lot of back and forth, and a lot of them kind of make you scratch your head and say, why?
Yeah.
So the most recent one is Chance Adrian has signed a player agreement.
Okay.
Jackson Legro was placed on season-ending IR, which is never a good thing for anybody.
And he's one of the guys who looked good earlier in the season when we played against them. He was making plays, and I remember seeing his name in a positive way for the Hat Trick. So that's unfortunate that he's on season-ending IR. And
now this one is kind of a trade-off. So the Wolves got Ricardo Gonzalez, and the Hat Tricks got Konstantin Chernuk. So they kind of did a swap there. So Gonzalez is going to the Watertown Wolves,
which they need a goaltender.
Konstantin Chernuk is going to the Hat Tricks.
Yep. So they need a goaltender. So that's good for the Wolves. They definitely needed a goaltender, and of course Chernuk I thought was a good player for the Hat Tricks. He was a guy that I was writing him down every once in a while. So.
Yeah, I mean, I remember saying his name when we were doing the weekend wrap-up stuff, so definitely somebody that, you got to kind of keep your eye on. And then one that, I think even Danbury was a little bit surprised by, at least the fans, Zachary Pamaleon was released on waivers.
Yeah, the Flying Hawaiian was released. I was surprised when I saw that one. I was like, wow. And it just tells you, Taylor, how crazy that these teams in what's going on with some of these teams when they don't perform. There's a lot of movement, and honestly, I don't know if any of it's worked, because if you look at Baton Rouge and you look at Biloxi, there's been a lot of movement on those teams, and those teams are still where they are in the standings, and there's not been a lot of improvement, so to speak, with the moves that they have made. So. Danbury's going to look a little bit different when we see them this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, somebody I thought would never leave Danbury was Josh LaBelle, and that's been, forever ago since that happened. So I've definitely been surprised, but I guess anything's fair game at this point for trades and who's going and who's staying.
And Alexander Legoff, right? He went down to PD this year. That team has just been completely ripped apart from what we knew. And, of course, Johnny Ruiz is also on season-ending IR as well. That's just been an interesting season for the Black Bears. All right, so that means who are the Black Bears led by at this point, right? Believe it or not, we've talked about him earlier in the season. Gee, I wonder why. But Anton Rubtsov, 32 games played, 18 goals, 18 assists for 36 points. He's got 2 power play goals, 1 shorthanded goal, and 2 game-winning goals. Eli Rivers, who is one of the guys who came to the Hat Tricks mid-season, 40 games played, 16 goals, 17 assists, 33 points, 1 power play goal, and 2 game-winning goals. Austin Belfay, 42 games played, 11 goals, 22 assists, 33 points, 1 power play goal, 1 game-winning goal, and the goaltender who I think is probably going to play either both games or at least one of them for sure, especially probably the home game, I would imagine, if any, Kyle Penton, 9-10-1 with a 3.16 goals against average and a 915 save percentage. And believe it or not, with their record, that's not bad numbers for him. It really isn't.
Apparently I just found out that Razar was released today, so maybe he comes back into play?
Is Razar still the property of
I have no idea
Sebastian?
on that.
He was up in the SPHL, right?
I'm getting a head nod that he is still their property. So,
Gotcha. Interesting. All right. So maybe.
But I would also like to point out, you said the Black Bears are led by that was the Hat Tricks. We didn't, take the Danbury Hat Tricks team.
Oh, did I say the Black Bears when I first said it? Did I say Black Bears?
Yeah, you said now who are the Black Bears led by, and then you went right into the Hat Tricks people. And I was like, oh boy.
Well, I have it written down as the Hat Tricks. I don't know why I said it. All right. Well, the real Black Bears are led by CJ Stubbs, who will be back from suspension, 40 games played. It's too bad because he had played all the games, right? And then he gets suspended for 2 games. Now, I do know that he took a trip out to Utah to see some family, so I hope he had a very good trip. I know what Gavin Yates has been doing, and he's been on greens and hitting golf balls. CJ Stubbs, 40 games played, 30 goals. 46 assists, 76 points, 12 power play goals, 2 shorthanded goals, 8 game-winning goals. That's what he brings literally to the Black Bears, all those great numbers. Ivan Bondarenko, 42 games played, 14 goals, 62 assists in 76 points, 1 power play goal, 1 shorthanded goal, and I believe he's just a few assists away from the single season record that Kyle Powell holds. I'd have to go look that up. Maybe you can look that up for me. Kyle Powell from the Binghamton Black Bears, when he played here, he holds the single season assist record. And I know that is coming up for Yvonne for him to potentially break. Mac Jansen, 38 games played, 28 goals, 23 assists for 51 points, 9 power play goals, 1 shorthanded goal, and 7 game-winning goals. Dominic Tomei, 21-2-0 with a 2.17 goals against average and a 19 save percentage. Now, on the special teams, Binghamton's power play is ranked number 1 with 66 power play goals, 28% conversion rate. On the PK, they are ranked first with 27 power play goals against and an 87 kill rate. Danbury ranked 13th on the power play, only scoring 26 power play goals this season for a 14% conversion rate, which is completely half of the Binghamton Black Bears. And then their PK is ranked 4th, allowing 33 power play goals against and an 83% conversion rate.
So I did look that up really quick, and Kyle Powell's record is 67.
All right.
He is getting up there. He is getting very close, and it could happen pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, if he's got 62 assists and he only needs 5-6 assists, I think he's going to do that this year, and he's going to break that record.
He could do that the next game. I mean, he had one game where he had 5 points. So
5 assists in the 10-4 game in Watertown on Friday. That's insane. 50% of your goals were assisted by Ivan Bondarenko. That's crazy, right?
It absolutely is crazy. And we did just look up, and Razar is still with Danbury as far as them having ownership of him.
It's like you have an assistant over there helping you out with this stuff.
Well, I just got him about 2 minutes ago. So,
all right. Okay, Taylor, it's time for the 11x14 player poster giveaway. Please tell the fans this week's special code phrase.
Holyfield.
What? Holyfield? What does that mean? That's right. Sam Holy had his first fight and got his first assist. Man, if he would have scored a goal, he would have had that Gordie Howe hat trick. However, Holyfield.
That would have been our code phrase, just saying.
Oh, it would have been. It really would have been. Okay, fans, if you are the 12th person to message Taylor with the special code phrase, Holyfield, you will win an 11x14 poster of your choice. The winner gets to choose from any current Binghamton Black Bears player and will deliver the poster at an upcoming home game. Send in that special code phrase, and thank you for listening to the Power Play Post Show. Taylor, one more time, what is the code phrase?
Holyfield.
And if you are the 12th person to send that, now, of course, that's Gavin Yates' number. We're supporting him while he's on the green somewhere in Florida. Yeah, he's playing golf in Florida. He's definitely doing that. But yes, if you are the 12th person to message Taylor, Holyfield, you will win an 11x14 poster, which will be very, very cool. Taylor, I think, man, we hit 1 hour and 30 minutes again.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all anymore. I think that's kind of our average. I would be worried if we didn't hit that, to be honest. That's
Well, they got nothing more to talk about. Just close up shop and walk away. Yeah.
I think this one was really fun. I'm very excited to see what some of these fans pick for who they would sign as a celebrity contract.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Yep. Fans, if you have a celebrity contract idea, go to our Facebook page, go to Spotify, go to YouTube, wherever you listen to the show, or if you're in our Facebook group, which would be very, very cool if you did. Go ahead and leave that celebrity contract idea down there. Let's let the Black Bears know. They monitor what we do over here with the Power Play Post Show. Check it out and maybe leave an answer and tell us why. Tell us why you would like to see this particular person. Maybe you agree with us with Brian McGrattan. Maybe there's somebody else that you would like to see as well. And it doesn't have to be an enforcer. It could be just a regular player as well, which would be very cool. Or, an aspiring broadcaster named Bob. I don't know. Maybe we can get Taylor on some skates.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely not happening. I mean, I could probably go from one end to the other, quicker than Jeremy could. It took him about half an hour to go halfway around the boards.
Fair enough. All right. The Power Play, we're going to leave it on that. I like that. The Power Play Post Show is available on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcast, Pocket Cast, YouTube, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Just search Power Play Post Show on your favorite app, and don't forget to subscribe. Join the conversation on Facebook. Search for Power Play Post Show and become part of our community. Looking for everything Binghamton Hockey? Visit binghamtonhockey.net, your go-to source for stats, history, and all things Binghamton Hockey. Thank you to Rob LaPolis, our MC, John Patitucci, our musical director, and from the Binghamton Black Bears, defenseman Dan Wieber. I am Bob Howard. She is
Taylor Welch.
And we'll talk to you guys on Sunday for the weekend wrap-up show right here on the Power Play Post Show.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Power Play Post Show. Be sure to tune in next week to the Box Studios Radio Network for all the latest Black Bears news and interviews from around minor league hockey. The Power Play Post Show would like to thank John Patitucci for all the music you hear on the show. You've been listening to the Power Play Post Show.